Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Say Yes to the Deck. Okay, so if you are new here, let me give you the rundown. Say Yes to the Deck is a series here on my channel where I bring you along with me while I decide what it is that I'm going to buy. I won't even pretend to say that all my buying decisions happen on Say Yes to the Deck because I regularly am just kind of impulsive, but I like to be mindful as much as possible, and Say Yes to the Deck was a series that came about to help encourage me and also make it more fun to be more careful and mindful about the decks that I purchase because, as you can see, I have a lot. And this is only 3 of my wall racks. The other 3 are over there. So I do have a lot. Also, not all of my decks are hanging up because, well, there's only so much wall space a girl has. But anyways, if you are new to this series, then come along with me for the ride. Typically, here's how this works. I will share with you guys the decks that I'm currently considering for purchase today. Then I will take a look at some decks that are similar in my collection and see if I can narrow my starting list down to something a little more manageable, like to the top 2 or 3. And then I usually loop in Peggy because she is my sounding board and helps me to be sane and not insane when it comes to my spending. So bringing her in just helps to give me another perspective. Sometimes I'll also check in with other friends, and then I usually like to watch some walkthroughs of decks. I mean, I like to make walkthroughs, but I probably watch way more, not probably, I know that I watch way more walkthroughs than I film, because walkthroughs are helpful when you're trying to decide what deck you want to purchase. So I'll usually watch some walkthroughs of the decks that are in like my top couple of decks that I'm considering, and then I will make my decision and I'll share with you guys what I've decided to buy. So with that said, let's get into the decks that I'm looking at today. So I'm gonna pull up my phone and we'll take a look at what it is that I am considering. So I'm just gonna, there's no particular order, I'm just gonna jump in with the ones that I've currently got on my list. And I should mention right up front, I had to narrow this down from like twice the amount of decks just so this video wouldn't take a bazillion hours to film. So I've already narrowed it down a little bit, but by narrowed it down, what I really mean is I took like half of my wish list and that's what we're gonna talk about, and the other half will get moved on to a future video, or I'll just, buy, we'll see how it plays out. But let's get started with the first deck that I'm looking at, and that is this one, the Tarot of Musterberg. Okay, so I have actually had this deck on my radar for a long time. It's a really cool, old-looking deck, but it has a ton of personality. Let's see if I can make these pictures any bigger. I can't. Okay, well, we'll scroll through them. So it's very much, it kind of has a Marseille sort of old world look to it, but as I understand it, it's essentially a made-up deck, or a deck about a made-up kind of carnival world. I need to do a little more reading about that, but there's a ton of personality on these characters' faces, and recently I stumbled on a post in social media, somewhere on Facebook, I can't remember where, and somebody had specifically pointed out the facial expressions on the horses in this deck, and it super captured my attention all over again. And there's something really quirky about it. I don't know if they have any of the minor arcana pictures in the preview. I'm just kind of scrolling through quickly to see if they have any minors. The Tower. Is this the whole major arcana? I think it is. Well, that's exciting. We're almost there. There's the World. Okay. Oh, there's an extra card, the Siren, and it's a mermaid. Digging that, like a lot. Okay, there we go. So here's our minor. So yeah, it's very Pippish, kind of, I wouldn't say it's Marseille because Marseille has a certain style to the Pip arrangement, and this definitely does its own thing. But Pip decks aren't actually a deal breaker for me the way that they used to be, and there are some Pip decks that I love working with. Plus, I have to admit, the fact that this looks kind of old and it looks like it has that kind of papery cardstock that can feel really like just fun to use, definitely appealing. Okay, so this is what I'm considering. I don't think I can eliminate it at first glance, so let's take a look at what else we have here. All right, so the other one, oh, I forgot to mention the price. Let's go back because that will be a factor. So this one is 50 euros, which is about $60 US, which means it's probably close to, by the time I factor in shipping, it's probably going to be about $100 Canadian. So that is a pricey deck, but I think a lot of what I'm looking at are independent decks. I think all of what I'm looking at today are independent decks. So pricing is probably going to be kind of similar. So let's talk about the Ember and Aura Tarot. Now this one has been on my radar also for a very, very long time, and it was actually Dawn Michelle at Boho Tarot talking about this deck more recently that brought it back to front of mind. And I will completely admit that some of my attraction to this deck is the soft, really soothing color palette of this deck. It's very pinky purpley, it's very soft, it's very feminine. I mean, a lot of these cards, let's just scroll through some of these. It's really pretty. And the edition that she's actually currently taking money for right now doesn't have the white border on the backing. And there's this really pretty like pink gilding on it. It is a little bit pippish, but it's really, again, really soft, really pretty. It's kind of got this feminine feel to it that is very attractive to me. The box looks really nice, but yeah, look, there's the pink gilding, like hello. So pretty. I'm just scrolling back through the same photos. So this one's definitely on my radar. And what's the price for this one? I think this is also a pre-order. So she's planning to ship, it looks like mid-August, and it's $48 US. So again, 50 Canadian. This is a little cheaper than the Tarot of Musterberg, but it's still going to be probably up in the range of like $60 to $70 Canadian by the time it's shipped. So, but that's really pretty. I don't think I can eliminate that one either. Guys, I'm not doing good so far at narrowing down before we look at my decks. Okay, so here's the thing with this deck. This is by Tarot Studio, and this isn't their upcoming deck, the Elemental Wisdom Tarot. Okay, so first, can we just pause for a moment and appreciate the backings, because holy moly are those beautiful. If you don't know, Tarot Studio is the company or the organization, I don't know what you would call it, the business behind the Dark Mansion Tarot, which is an absolutely stunning deck. Not only is the art visually completely gorgeous in the Dark Mansion Tarot and very otherworldly, it definitely pulls you into its own universe, but the production quality of that deck is incredible. I had the large version of the Dark Mansion Tarot, and then I ended up rehoming the large one and repurchasing their second edition standard size because I found that that one was too large for me. And production quality absolutely stunning. It was like rose petal finish and like gorgeous gilding and beautiful sturdy box. Like just they did a very good job. The only downside I would say to ordering from Tarot Studio is that you should expect your orders to take a while to deliver. I believe it's coming from Poland, I want to say. I could have that wrong, but definitely somewhere in Europe, and it was slow. And in particular, I think they've fixed some of those problems, but it was like it took me several months to get my Dark Mansion Tarot the first time. The second time it was much better. But anyways, I'm digressing a lot. So these are gorgeous. They are black edged, and this is a silk matte lamination. Now, my experience with silk matte lamination is it's very buttery, it's very smooth, it's not rose petal finish, but it feels very luxe. So I'm excited about the silk matte lamination, and I think they even mentioned the cardstock here. Do they mention? No. High quality durable paper, silk matte lamination, black matte edges. I'm not too worried about the GSM and whatnot because, again, I had such a great experience with the Dark Mansion Tarot, and I assume they're going to use a similar cardstock, and that cardstock was fantastic, so no complaints. I wish I could make these pictures bigger for you. I can't. I wish that I could, but the suits in this deck are absolutely breathtaking. The artwork has got definitely a more digital, almost photorealistic kind of quality to it, which is not always my favorite, but I feel like there's just a lot of dynamic weather and like color in this deck. Like if you look at the wand suit, it's got this very kind of fiery, tribal-y kind of look to it, very deserty, and I love the vibrant colors. And then in the cup suit, you have this gorgeous like watery theme. It's definitely very elemental, which is its namesake, right? It's the Elemental Wisdom Tarot. It looks really beautiful. So just to give you an idea, there's only a couple cards that I can bring up full size for you. This is one of them. There's something about this art that just looks really beautiful to me. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of shadow. It looks real pretty, I'm not gonna lie. And it's very much a Rider-Waite-Smith clone. I think it would read really well, and it would be useful in a variety of circumstances. It would be a good all-arounder kind of deck. I definitely could use this in client readings. It wouldn't be one that I would need to keep just for myself, which I will admit, the Dark Mansion Tarot is not one that I reach for regularly for client readings. I think partly because it's a very specific world that it's in. And while I do use it, I just find that it doesn't feel as universal, and I'm not quite sure what the it factor is that makes it feel like a universal deck to use in certain types of readings, but I just haven't felt compelled to use that one yet. And this one I feel like I would definitely use in client readings. So that's also a bonus going for this one. See, I'm not narrowing anything down. This is what happens when I pre-narrow down. I can't narrow anything down in this phase. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Okay, this one, like, I don't even know if I should have this in a Say Yes to the deck. I don't think it's entirely fair. I think I just need to buy this at some point. I don't know if today's the day, but you guys know I'm a huge fan of Joanna Nelson and her artwork, and I have the Mons Tarot is my soul deck. That actually, I just kind of smacked myself, but I'm very passionate about the Mons Tarot. I have 2 versions of that deck. It's the only one that I have 2 versions that I have out and available at all times. I have my first edition out of print Mons Tarot, and I have my second edition. My first edition is hanging right there in that blue bag, and my second edition is right there in a custom box made by Dustin at Modern Metaphysicae. So I love that deck. I also have the Whispering Spirits Tarot, which is also beautiful. Sometimes neglected because I love my Mons Tarot so much, but it's still gorgeous. But I don't have a Joanna Nelson Oracle, and this is currently the only available Joanna Nelson Oracle, and it is the Catland Oracle, which obviously you can see here. Let's just take a look. I mean, my one stopping point for this deck, and the reason I haven't pulled the trigger so far, is that I'm definitely more of a dog person than a cat person. But that said, these cats, I wish I could, can I open it bigger? Oh, I can open it bigger. Oh, sweet. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, so these cats, there's something, okay, there's something about their personality and the way that she's painted them that they're pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty cool. My one hesitation too, I shouldn't say my one, but another hesitation is that I'm concerned that the keywords aren't gonna work for me in the moment. So that's another thing I've been concerned about. I don't know if they're expansive enough. Like, I don't know what telescope is, and maybe the guidebook or the little white book that comes with this deck would help with that. I'm not entirely sure. But see, some of these look really good. Solitude, Nurture, Attitude, Echo I'm not sure about, Guidance, yes, Dreams, maybe. You know, so some of them I feel like stick out as more expansive keywords. Rendezvous, Playtime, Honey Honey. See, okay, actually, I feel like almost like the few that don't work would potentially work, like, once I get to know them. Do you know what I mean? Cosmos, Tea Time, Up a Tree. Up a Tree makes sense to me. Look at the little baby kitten. Oh my god, it's so cute. I just can't. Soul Captain, I don't think okay, I definitely can't eliminate it for sure. I don't know, and I keep going back and forth on this one for sure. There's also a part of me that's like, can I actually say no to any Joanna Nelson deck? And also, if I wait too long, it might be a Mons Tarot story all over again, because I waited too long on the first edition and then it went out of print. And the only reason I ended up with it is because somebody very generously sent me a copy. Otherwise, I would have been out of luck. Do I want that to happen with this? Will this be a regret? I don't know. You guys, I don't know. Budget this month in Say Yes to the Deck is less of a concern because I haven't straight up just bought an indie deck in a little bit. I have backed 1 or 2 Kickstarters. So anyways, speaking of budget, let's see what the price is. Okay, so $40 US. I'm not sure what the shipping is to Canada. I suspect it's around $30, so that's $70. So then with exchange, so again, probably in that $70 to $85 range. Not a surprise. Shipping to Canada is expensive. So yeah, I can't eliminate it yet. Oh my gosh, can I eliminate this one? This is my last one. I think this is my last one. The Forager's Daughter. Yes, this is my last one. Okay, so the Forager's Daughter Tarot. So this was a Kickstarter that I didn't back when it first came out, and now it's out again. And to top it all off, Dawn Michelle Boho Tarot, who is constantly like my deck buying inspiration, has talked about this deck a lot, which is definitely making me feel like I need it because we have very similar taste in a lot of decks. Oh, I'm on the campaign backing page, I guess? Okay, let's look at the campaign page. So the thing about this deck, oh there, I can make them bigger. It's very much a plant and animal natural world kind of deck. And I have a lot of decks like that. And I also feel like because I have a lot of decks that I really love in this category, it might get neglected. Particularly because I recently backed in a previous Say Yes to the Deck episode, the Oak, Ash, and Thorn tarot deck, which was on Kickstarter and is coming out I think pretty soon. And I feel like this might just be running too close to that campaign for me personally, and I feel like because the other one is also a natural world deck with kind of a soft aesthetic, that this one I think I can pass on for now, especially because I have Oak, Ash, and Thorn coming, so I can narrow that one. There, I'm down to 4. I've narrowed down 1. Well, we're off to a start, guys. Okay, so that's enough of that. I am going to put this away, and we're gonna switch to a top-down view, and I'm gonna look at a few decks in my collection that I think kind of are in similar categories as the 4 that I have left on my list, and we'll see if I can do any further narrowing down before I talk to Peggy. Usually I'm pretty good. Usually I can get myself down to like 2, maybe 3 by the time I talk to Peggy, so let's see what I can do. And we're over on my reading table. So let's start with the Tarot of Musterberg, because there is definitely a deck in my collection that I feel like is similar enough, just had to adjust my camera, that I think it's worth a look to help me narrow down my decisions. So this is the Corte de Tarocchi, and like the Tarot of Musterberg, this is a modern created deck, so it is not a copy of like an old deck, but it is made to look very old world. So it's kind of got a similar concept behind it, I would say, as the Tarot of Musterberg. It's got this really cool shape. It's like long and narrow, and it's definitely hand cut and made out of this very like papery, thick papery feeling cardstock. You wouldn't riffle shuffle this. It's really exciting to me to have this deck. I enjoy the heck out of this deck, but I will definitely say I've only read with it a handful of times. I worked with it over a week, and as much as I absolutely adore this deck, it's definitely not one that I reach for a ton. I thought I saw the moon card and I wanted to gush about it, but it's got also a lot of personality like the Tarot of Musterberg. I think the Tarot of Musterberg has a lot more of a sort of quirkiness to it, whereas this has a lightheartedness to it. Also, again, very pippish, just like the other, like Tarot of Musterberg is. I don't know, I love this one so much, but it definitely doesn't get a ton of play. But I love the faces in this deck. So cute. And so maybe, I mean, I don't think they're the same by any stretch, but I do feel like I don't necessarily need both in my collection. I really wanted to show you the moon card. Is it going to come up? Oh, there it is. I just love this moon card with all the moon phases. I love it. Okay, so I think I can probably take Tarot of Musterberg off my list, because as much as I think I would really enjoy that deck, there is enough similarities with my Le Corte de Tarocchi, and this one already doesn't come out to play a lot. If I use this deck all the time, I would pick up Tarot of Musterberg, because I know I would then have 2 to rotate it whenever I feel called to work with a deck like this. But I feel like this is one of those decks that I enjoy having more than I enjoy using it, and that is not typically what I like to do with my collection, so I think I'm going to give this one, or the Tarot of Musterberg rather, a pass. Okay, let's talk about the Ember and Aura Tarot, because that's another one that's really tempting me. So the only thing I could think of that I felt had a similar vibe was the White Sage Tarot in a tin. Now, at the time I'm filming this video, I haven't yet done a walkthrough of this deck, but it is planned. But this one already is fairly new to my collection. It is a mini deck. It's got a lot of chakra references in it, which is something that I really appreciate. And this has that same sort of soft, soothing color palette to it. A lot more blue-gray than pink, but it's still got that pastel, like, gentleness to it. And if I feel like I'm attracted to the Ember and Aura Tarot for its gentleness, I love this card, then I feel like until I've actually worked with this deck, which is fairly pippish but has the additional chakra references, I feel like if I haven't yet worked with this one to know if it's going to really kind of scratch that itch, then I probably shouldn't jump on the Ember and Aura Tarot just yet, because I do feel like this is actually vibe-wise, like energetically, I feel like it's quite similar. What's on the bottom here? Oh, there's these like chakra reference cards, that's right. So I think I can actually eliminate Ember and Aura off of the list for now. I don't think it's one that I'm like forever saying no to, but I think until I've at least worked with the White Sage Tarot and know if this will sort of scratch that particular itch, I don't need to be in a hurry for Ember and Aura. So I'm going to hold off. I'm going to take Ember and Aura off my list. So that brings us to 2 decks to consider. So the first of those is Joanna Nelson's Catland Oracle. Now I don't have any Oracle deck that's similar, but because I backed Joanna's 2nd edition Mons Tarot, there were all these backer rewards, and these are her really cute cats. So they're similar sort of, obviously, art style And I have to say that these faces absolutely charm me. Even though these cats are basically it's basically the same face, right? Just different. Look at these guys. They're all working with the Mom's Tarot in different spreads, which I just freaking love. Guys, these are so cute. Oh, I'm having a hard time. So Joanna Nelson, Catland Oracle. I don't think I can eliminate it from my list yet. Okay, so that's Joanna Nelson's Catland Oracle. Okay. I was wondering if I was going to actually have one where I could narrow it down to one before I even talk to Peggy, but like that's not going to happen. Okay. And I'm probably also, I may actually just keep Ember and Aura on my list long enough, like not to talk to Peggy about, but to watch walkthroughs of, just in case I feel strongly enough to put it back on the list. So yeah, I hope that made sense. Okay, so that leaves us with the Elemental Wisdom Tarot by Tarot Studios, and I was trying to think of what I have in my collection that's anywhere similar, and the only deck I could think of that's kind of got that vivid color and that sort of fantasy world feel and Rider-Waite-Smith clone, the closest I could think of was a Ciro Marchetti deck. Now I have a couple, but my favorite of the moment is the Tarot Grand Luxe, and so I thought this one would be a good one to look at to think if I really need that elemental wisdom. You can tell it's also a really beautiful, vivid style of art. And I really do love this deck, don't get me wrong. But this one sometimes feels almost too photorealistic. There's also a very I say that just as I draw the Empress. I often say that with Ciro's decks, there's a very masculine energy to them. And I don't think that's because they're made by a male creator. I think there's just something very clean and crisp almost, and I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like sometimes I'm looking at photos, which I think I may be. I'm not entirely sure how Ciro does his artwork. I know there's a lot of digital painting and things like that with his art, but I don't know if there's also photos or if he's just like, this sounds really bad, I don't know if he's just that good at painting that they look like photos, or if they're actually photos that have been combined with digital art. I actually don't know, but sometimes they're almost so good that it feels like there's almost like there's a fourth wall. Oh, sorry for the reflection there. Almost like there's a fourth wall in the deck. I don't know how else to describe it. Like I'm watching pictures on a screen. It's really something I have a hard time with. So while I love having this deck, and I will always have a Ciro Marchetti deck in my collection, at least one and probably two, I don't think this actually completely fairly competes with the Elemental Wisdom Tarot, because I think they have a slightly different feel. I'm going to want to look at the images from that deck on my computer and maybe blow them up a little bigger, take a better look, see if there's any other, like, I thought I saw a video trailer about the deck on YouTube, so I'll take a look at that too, see if that helps me at all. But so this means I'm now narrowed down to either the Elemental Wisdom Tarot by Tarot Studio or the Catland Oracle, and a maybe on Ember and Aura if I watch a walkthrough and I'm like reconvinced to add it back in. So I may actually do walkthroughs and then talk to Peggy. Maybe that's what I'll do. Okay, well, I will see you guys in the next clip. Okay, so I have Peggy. Okay. So this is Say Yes to the Deck. I told you that, right? Okay, yeah. So here's where I'm at. I have to figure out how to prop my arm. Okay. So here's where I'm at. I had narrowed it down.
You're probably gonna have a shaky camera, and people are gonna get seasick. So there's your first problem.
This is what happens when you vlog. Okay, so it's just You're laughing is making the camera shake.
My problem.
Okay, so I had it narrowed down to 2 decks, and then I added
the most expensive.
Hold on, and then I added one. You say that every time.
Every time.
But then I added one back on. So here's what happened. So one deck is very
decky. And the other deck is a little less decky.
Okay. One of them is Joanna Nelson's Catland Oracle.
Okay.
Do you know who Joanna Nelson is?
Yes.
Pop quiz. Okay,
yes.
Thank goodness. Okay, good. Okay, so
pop quiz? Oh my god.
So I don't have that one yet. There's a bit of
Really? Is that why you want to buy it?
Hold on.
Because I thought maybe 2 or 3 copies of the same deck would be a good idea, right?
But I have every other deck that Joanna's made.
Okay, you have to point out that you haven't bought it yet. And it's
but my point is, hold on.
Would you expect a different answer if you had?
I'm actually shaking the camera now because I'm laughing. Okay.
Not my problem.
What I meant was I have the other 2 decks she's already created.
Okay.
So there's a bit of a completionist thing happening with that.
Wasn't this on one of your previous Say Yes to the decks?
No.
Where did I?
But like, when I went to Northwest Tarot Symposium and Joanna was there, and I could have bought the deck physically from her, I still didn't buy it. So I kind of feel like there's a reason I'm not picking it up yet.
Saving money. That's a reason.
Sure. Okay, so that was one of them that's on the list. So
okay, wait.
We've got the Catland Oracle is option 1.
Okay.
Option 2 is a deck called the Elemental Wisdom Tarot that is a pre-order, but it's gonna ship like in September, and it's from the same people that did the Dark Mansion Tarot.
Which you like? I
should probably show you pictures of some of these.
Didn't you eventually anti-haul the Dark Mansion? No, you still have Dark Mansion. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of a different deck.
Jeez. Anyways.
What? It's confusing and scary in there. Okay. I just make guesses sometimes.
So I will say the Elemental Wisdom Tarot is one of those decks that would be a really good all-arounder.
Is it an oracle or a tarot?
It's a tarot.
Okay.
It's based on the elements. That's what I told the Elemental Wisdom Tarot.
Wow.
And
that's so proactive of you. I didn't even have to ask if the Elemental Tarot was about the elements.
Anyways. And okay, so each...
I don't even have to tease you. You're doing it to yourself now.
Not intentionally. Okay.
Okay, that it's still happening.
Hold on. That one has a very digital look to the artwork.
Okay.
It's really vivid colors.
Like at an angle now. Like you're like,
Oh, oops, sorry. Thank you. It's okay. It's got very vivid colors.
I feel sorry for all these people that have to watch this.
It's okay. This is a short clip, hopefully.
Where are they going?
It'll be shorter if you let me get to the point.
Oh,
okay, so
what's the cost?
They're all about the same. So they're all going to be in the range of like 70 to 90 once shipping is done.
Oh, so you don't need a deck at all this time.
I have to switch hands. Hold on. Okay, so I need a deck.
You need?
Well, I want a deck.
You want a deck.
That is the point of Say Yes to the Deck, is that I want a deck. So, what's the first deck on the list?
Cat something tarot.
Oracle.
Catland Oracle.
Okay, good. Okay. What's the second deck?
$70 to $90. Yep.
What's the second deck?
Also $70 to $90. Flip a coin.
Oh my God, you are remarkably unhelpful this month. Okay,
I'm generally unhelpful every month. I'm just
you were super helpful last time. Okay.
Okay. So
look, the Elemental Wisdom Tarot elements, good overall reader, very good at like it. It's.
Have you looked up walkthroughs of any kind?
There's no walkthroughs because it's a brand new deck.
Okay.
The third deck,
but you like the artwork and you feel like it's going to be a good deck to read with.
I think it would be a good one for client readings.
Okay, so the hard question is,
but as much as you deck. Okay, the third deck is called the Ember and Aura Tarot. Now here's what happened
about embers and auras. Is there an aura element to this deck?
Are you finished?
Probably not.
This is what I get for doing this late at night. Okay.
Okay.
So the Ember.
Yeah, you're doing this while I'm way more awake than I usually am.
I know it's a problem, and you're not distracted by sewing. Okay. So the Ember and Aura Tarot. Here's the thing with that one. I had taken it off the list in the bedroom when I was looking at my decks I have that are kind of similar.
Okay.
But then I went and looked at some pictures again, and I put it back on. And I think the thing is, I've been thinking about this deck off and on for like quite a few months. It's on its like third edition now.
Okay.
It's got this kind of, it's really unique. I think the thing is the Ember and Aura.
Okay, but unique sometimes means collect, but not necessarily end up using a lot.
But that's the thing. I think the artwork is actually expressive enough to read really, really well.
Okay.
The Elemental Wisdom Tarot is really beautiful, but I feel like it's kind of similar to others, like Ciro Marchetti's decks. I've shown you those, yeah? Mm-hmm. It reminds me a little bit of that style.
Okay.
And I don't reach for my Ciro decks that often. I tend to reach for my more unique decks. So Ember and Aura is kind of more unique.
Yeah, because Ciro, you like your Ciro decks.
I do. I love my Ciro decks, but I don't find that I reach for them that much.
Okay.
So my concern is if I pick up the Elemental Wisdom, especially before there's been a full walkthrough and I can kind of see it in... Elemental Wisdom doesn't have a walkthrough yet. Ember and Aura does, because it's been out for a long, long time. Well, long-ish.
Okay, if it's been out for a while, then it's also probably going to be easy to obtain at a later date without a whole lot of effort.
True.
Okay.
Catland Oracle's also been out for a while. They're all three indie decks, too.
All three are indie decks.
That's why they're all expensive.
Okay, so money-wise, there's no issue because I know you've been saving and setting money aside just for all the things anyway.
Yeah, I can purchase one. This would not be a month where I'm buying two. So I do have to narrow it down.
Well, yeah, no, because you already set limits just to avoid going all ham anyway.
That's true.
I don't know. I think
Okay, so the Ember and Aura also has pink edging. Pink metallic edging.
You know I'm allergic to pink.
You're right.
Okay, I would say
so you would never touch this deck.
Okay, this deck is on that deck is on its third printing. So you can be fairly confident that can be an add-in for a month when you got a few extra bucks kicking around. So I would probably guess that you're going to get that deck sooner or later anyway without having to make any special effort. Right?
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, maybe I don't know, but it's easy to get my hands on if I change my mind on all that stuff. Probably means that this should be at least the deck that you don't get right now. It's not a right now deck. The other two decks, you like your Dark Mansion, you use it a lot. I don't know why I got it in my head that you Andy hauled it, because you didn't. I saw it this morning. You'd use that one.
Yeah.
Now the Joanna Nelson, the cat one.
It's an oracle.
I know it's an oracle deck. You don't always use oracle decks as often as you use regular tarot decks. It's a deck that you've mentioned before, so I know you want it, but I'm not.
I can't tell if I want it because it's Joanna, who I adore, or if it's that the deck is what, because, and I also don't know if part of it is a completionist thing because I have her other two.
But who really cares, right?
I mean, true.
Like, you're budgeting for something that you can afford, so there's no issues. There's not really a whole lot of issues that way. But I'm gonna think that as an oracle, as a themed deck, everybody has their own way of doing things, so that's fine. But your way of doing things is if you have a deck that has a theme, then you assign it a purpose and tend not to use it for general use. So you probably at the end of the day won't end up using it as often.
Which one are we talking about now? The
cat one.
The cat one. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you do that. So.
Yeah, that's true. I would probably only use it when I'm using it. I would use it probably mostly when I'm using my Monster Tarot as like a partner to it.
Right, because when a deck has it, when it
has a bit of a theme, I tend to that's a very good point. You tend to assign it a purpose.
So unless you're doing readings that suit that purpose, you don't tend to reach for those decks. So it sounds to me like the third deck,
the Elemental Wisdom.
Elemental Wisdom, you can get the other one.
Ember and Aura.
That sounds like that one's easy to get.
Well, kind of. It's an indie deck, so you never know when it won't be available anymore.
Well, you never know when any of them aren't going to be available anymore.
Well, that doesn't help me.
Well, whatever. It sounds like your best bet is going to be the...
Elemental Wisdom?
Elemental Wisdom.
Even though that one's just now coming out.
Well, because it has a more generic range of use.
See, that's something that I actually said.
It has a more generic range of use that matches how you... Because don't forget, a person that really resonates with cats is going to get a cat deck and use it for everything, but you don't do that.
That's true.
Okay,
so if I narrow it down to Elemental Wisdom versus Ember and Aura is a very soft, feminine, gentle-looking deck.
That's fine.
Elemental Wisdom. Now, one thing you said caught my attention because actually when I was filming in the bedroom...
What, that it's pink and I wouldn't touch it?
No. Hold on.
That does...
When I was filming in the bedroom, I actually said that. I said this is a deck that I could use for a bunch of different types of readings.
Because you...
So I think it would be less niche, whereas Ember and Aura... Okay, I have to admit though, when you said I shouldn't maybe get Ember and Aura, I got a little sad inside. So I don't know if that's a sign, but you're right. I think the Elemental Wisdom would be a lot more universal in how I would use it. So it sounds like I'm kind of torn between those two.
Don't get any decks. That helps you. That helps me.
I don't know that.
Okay.
Because I did get a little sad.
Okay. Let's clarify. You're going to get Joanna Nelson's deck sooner or later because you really, really love Joanna Nelson's work. You'll use the deck, but you use decks. Everybody has their own way of doing things. So your way of doing things means that you might find a reason to use that deck 400 times a day. We don't know.
Probably not though.
But you're going to get the deck sooner or later. So which deck? It sounds like which deck do you really want right now, and which decks are you willing to wait for?
Okay.
Yeah, you and your instant gratification gene kicking in.
So here's the thing.
But I need all three of them.
Yeah.
You're probably going to eventually... It sounds like you're probably going to eventually get all three, so it's a matter of when, where, and how is it most reasonable to get those. Like, do you want to save one as a Christmas gift? Do you want to... That's too far away.
That's so far! Why would I wait till... No!
Okay, you're only budgeted for one deck, so which deck... it's not which deck do you want, it's which deck do you want right now. Because it sounds like you're eventually, it sounds like eventually all three of them are going to find their way into the house anyway.
That's a good point. Okay, that helps me a little, I think. I have to go.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't as much as I was hoping, but it helps a little. I think, okay, so I've narrowed down, I'm probably going to wait on the Catland Oracle, so that brings me down to 2.
Okay.
The real struggle I have is Ember and Aura feels like the more exciting purchase right now, and Elemental Wisdom feels like the most useful.
Okay, so the one...
So one feels more emotional and one feels more practical.
Okay. More useful is fine, but which deck do you think you're going... Okay, if you're going to make a purchase based on which deck you think you're going to use the most...
I think I need to look at more images or walkthroughs of those 2. Well, I can't watch a walkthrough. I can watch a walkthrough of Ember and Aura.
Yeah.
Forgot the name for a second.
Wow, okay, that's not the deck you need. You already forgot the name.
Only for a second.
Okay, if you've already forgot...
No, I could picture the box, though.
I'm literally talking about the Ember and Aura, but I forget its name now.
It's also past my bedtime, so there's that.
Dude, it's not even 10 o'clock
Okay, well,
yet.
it's almost past my bedtime.
It sounds like it's the other one. It sounds
the
like
Elemental Wisdom.
Elemental Wisdom. It sounds like the Elemental Wisdom, then the cat, then the last one.
See,
you forgot the name. Okay, I can forget the name because I'm like, what? They're expensive.
It was only for a second.
That doesn't matter.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna go.
She's gonna go think. This is gonna be.
I'm gonna go think and agonize and possibly look at another walkthrough of Ember and Aura before I decide.
Another walkthrough.
And or get bigger pictures going of the Elemental Wisdom.
Well,
I'm gonna show you pictures.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, we'll be right back. You look scared. Are you scared?
Why did you turn the thing back on?
I turned the thing back on.
Why'd you turn?
Because we just looked at. Okay, so we just looked at images. Okay, and without getting into any details, because this video is going to be a million hours long, if you had to pick one of the 2, which one would you pick?
I am a big fan of art that leans towards more. I don't want to call it photorealistic, but because the
Elemental
Wisdom wasn't photorealistic, but it was much more involved
artwork versus the more sketch style of Ember and Aura.
Yeah. So the style of artwork, I really like the that one better. I like the heavy details. I like to be able to like just stare at an image for hours and find new pieces.
Yeah, I found a trailer basically.
The Ember and Aura's art is very clear and to the point. And that's fine, but it's two completely different art styles.
They're very different. I know, I agree.
So from art styles alone, I prefer the other one.
I think she kind of convinced me, actually, because it's funny, we were looking at the images together, and I really love...
Funny thing is, though, is that these have got, like, the other one just has the card.
Yeah.
So, like, for this one, it's like that one here, this card is the Son of Wands.
Yes.
I know exactly what that card is, and I don't have to rely on the image to...
Oh, good point. Yeah, there was no titles or keywords on
no titles or card names.
But I kind of love that.
You do really well. See, that's the thing for you.
I think I sink into the artwork more.
If those are the only 2 decks I had to choose from, even though I like the art more on that one, I would buy the Ember and Aura because it's got the card name.
The titles and the keywords. Yeah.
I don't see keywords.
Or not keywords. Sorry, the titles.
The card title.
Yeah, the card title
For all the.
That actually really helped.
Yeah, see, 2 of coins.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
true.
Right there. So if you're a bit of a,
I don't know if the other
I can see that that's the 2 of coins because of the picture, but I'm not.
I'm gonna have to go look at my Dark Mansion Tarot because I don't think it had any titles on it either. I really like that borderless.
But
like,
you don't
full
need
image.
that anymore. You stopped needing that.
No, but
you stopped needing that years ago.
I know, but the thing is,
I will always and forever need to. What card is that again?
Wait. But that's a selling point for me. If there's no titles and it's just artwork, I actually really love that. If they're easy to read, it's almost like it's already pre-trimmed for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that helped a lot. Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna go.
See, the thing is, even though I prefer the artwork on the Elemental, I would probably buy the Ember and Aura because it titles all the cards.
Whereas I would lean the other way.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that helped. Okay, bye. Okay, decisions were made here. So, after a second discussion with Peggy, which I think I just shared with you, I'm pretty sure I filmed that. Yes, I filmed that. Okay. After a second discussion with Peggy, I think one of the things that ultimately sold me on the deck that I decided to purchase is the state of borderless or not borderless kind of thing. Titles, no titles. So, I went and looked again at the Taroteca Studios Elemental Wisdom Tarot, and it looks like there are no titles, no words printed on the cards whatsoever, just beautiful images. And because it's a Rider-Waite-Smith clone deck, I feel like it's very clear what card I'm looking at, but there's something about that lack of titles that just pushed me over the edge. I think I'm going to really enjoy using that deck, and I feel like that is the deck that will be the most universal in how I can use it. So that is the one that I decided to purchase. I've already clicked the button. So it is a pre-order, and Taroteka Studios is planning to ship those out, I believe, at the end of September. And it's coming from Poland via Polish registered mail, essentially. So I'm expecting to not see that deck until close to the end of the year, but I'm really pleased with that purchase. I think it's a deck I'm going to really enjoy using. The backs are stunning, and just that whole like full bleed image, it just really caught my attention, and I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with that deck. Ember and Aura is still low-key on my wish list. I don't think I can take it off my wish list just yet, but I think I'm okay with waiting a little longer on that one. And Catland Oracle, same thing. It's still sitting on my wish list, but I think I'm going to wait a little bit longer and take my chances, because Peggy was right. I don't know exactly in what context I'm going to use that deck, but I do know that it would be a little bit more limited in use than the Elemental Wisdom Tarot. So I think I'm really good with my decision. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for another episode of Say Yes to the Deck. I would love to hear your thoughts down below on what you think of the decks that I was going through and which deck I chose. And remember to click subscribe, like this video, I almost said like this button. Click the like button if you enjoyed this video. Remember to share if you know anybody that enjoys this kind of video. And remember that if you want to book a client reading with me, you can always do that over at supportivetarot.com. Thank you so much for joining me, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye.
Okay.
Are you just like, hello, over here? Okay, stop looking at stuff, pay attention. I'm demanding your attention right now. Okay,
So I have a thing, and it's in my hand, and it's a... And now I have an elbow in my diaphragm.
because this camera's...
I'm glad you're comfortable.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so... Okay, you're making me lose my train of thought.
Oh.
Okay, so... Did you just choo-choo?
No, I didn't do that. Right in your ear, but no, I didn't do it.
Okay, Peggy's an idiot. Anyways, okay, so...
Then why are you asking for my advice?
Because you're a helpful idiot. Okay, hold on. Anyways, okay.
Okay,
wait. Okay,
is your arm gonna fall off, or do you need to stop this and start over?
It's possibly gonna fall off. Okay, no, I'm good.
I could keep this going until you finally drop that camera, just to see how bad it's gonna get.
Anyways, okay. So
okay, I'll be nice.
Back to the point. Okay, so the element.
The point.
You're insufferable.
That's the. I don't know why.
I don't know why I do this part either.
You're like, oh look, it's self-torture time.
I think it's because we entertain people. Okay, anyways, so
I entertain people. You're the.
I'm the what? What am I?
I love you.
You're gonna get yourself in so
You're kind of the target of all the humor.
I'm the target.
You're the target.
Okay, can we focus on the Elemental Wisdom Tarot for just a moment? Okay.
Okay, because it's about elements. You told me that. I needed that information. The title would not have given it away.
Sometimes I really just want to kick you in the shins. Anyways,
okay.
So the Elemental Wisdom Tarot.
Sometimes you do.
I don't kick you in the shins for realsies, but I do threaten you constantly.
I like realsies means you do, but you're trying not to do it too hard.
That's not what that means. Can you focus on the Elemental Wisdom Tarot, please? Okay.
I'm trying to.
So
what's obvious about this deck that you're going to feel compelled to explain to me?
Shut up. It's like, God damn it.
The first one was about cats, right? You did tell me that. Second one was about elements. You had to explain that.
Okay.
I love you. I love you very much.
You should probably not wiggle your foot because it's making me wiggle the camera.
Wiggle, wiggle.
No! I'm sorry, everybody.
I mean, you're free to choose whichever one. Oh, I'm getting itch. Anyway.
Focus, yo.
I did. I focused on my itch and it made me unhappy.
Focus on helping me.